Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today our topic is elements, compounds and mixtures. And today we will only discuss about elements. Now before we define elements, let's consider what is matter. Everything that occupies space and has mass is matter. Mass is the amount of substance in an object. The universe is made up of matter. So everything in the world is made up of matter. All the planets, the sun, the stars, and everything that you see on the earth is made up of matter. But what is matter made of? If you could cut up a piece of gold, silver or copper till we cannot cut it any further, we would get the particles it is made of. And do you know what will those particles be? These would be atoms. Atoms are the building blocks of matter, which means that everything is made up of atoms of different types. What is particle theory of matter? All matter is made of tiny particles, and these particles are invisible to the naked eye. We cannot see them with our eyes. So the atoms are very, very, very small. The particles of matter are always moving. So they are not still, they are moving. And the particles have space between them. The particles of different materials have different space between them. This is the particle theory. You must have seen and heard the names that I'm sharing right now on this slide: copper, iron, sulfur, silver, and gold. All of them are elements. Now the question is, what are elements? A material that is made up of only one type of atoms is called an element. Up till now, scientists have discovered 117 elements. Out of these elements, some are natural and some are artificially created by man. An element is a substance that cannot be split into simpler substances. If you pass electricity through water, the two elements that make up water can be split. So hydrogen ions, which are positive, are called cations. They are attracted to cathode. And the oxygen ions, which are called anions, and they have a negative charge on them, they are attracted to the anode. The point to be noted here is that compounds that are made up of combinations or chemically bound molecules having more than one atoms chemically connected with one another, they are called compounds. They may be split using different methods, but an element is a substance that cannot be split into simpler substances. Each atom of an element has its properties. So an atom of gold will have the properties of gold, an atom of silver will have the properties of silver, an atom of copper will have the properties of copper. Some elements exist in the form of atoms, like each atom is separately present inside the element. That is, the element is made up of atoms of that element. Such elements are called atomic elements. But some atoms combine together and they are linked together chemically, and they exist in molecular forms. Whenever atoms are combined together, they form molecules. The atoms of some elements link with other atoms of the element and form molecules. These elements are called molecular elements. So the elements can exist in two forms, atomic and molecular. In atomic elements, each atom is separate. They are not chemically combined with one another. For example, neon. And the other type of elements are where the atoms combine together chemically and they exist in molecular form, such as oxygen. The 2 after the O represents or informs us that there are 2 oxygen atoms combined together. Elements are represented by symbols, and you can see that the symbols are written with capital, and you can see capital letters are used to represent them. If 2 letters are used, then the first letter is capital and the second letter is always small. Let's go over the symbols of some of the common elements. Hydrogen, H, helium, He, neon, Ne, lithium, Li, boron, B, carbon, C, and nitrogen, N. Oxygen, O, magnesium, Mg, aluminium, Al, phosphorus, P, sulfur, S. Sulfur is spelled SLPHUR and also SULFUR. Chlorine, Cl, argon, Ar. So these are some of the symbols of some common elements. Now this is a task for you. You have to define the following, that is matter, mass, element, atomic elements, and molecular elements. And you also have to explain in your own words what is the particle theory. That's all for today. See you next time. Allah Hafiz.